Okay, viewers, I'm back here. This is Wadidja. Uh, if you were watching the last video there, we had a game crash yet again, and I think I pushed it a little too far with grinding out the Vanguard captain one too many times before moving on. Because when I got to the whole herd of enemies, before getting to Gauss, and clearing, making the path to the solar tower, it was just a little bit too much information for it to hold on to, I think, and it just was like, screw you, basically. Uh, and again, I'm guessing that's a ready on hand memory thing in the manner of the programming, as far as what they've allocated for it to hold, or either it's a server shake somewhere along the way. But I know for me on PlayStation 4 Pro, and I know it's not a PS5, I'm trying to get one, but everybody keeps selling out, and people keep buying them up and selling for two, three times more. Like, it's just scandalous. But bottom line is, I got the best that I can have right now. And the PS4 Pro is not, either it's not handling however much memories that needs to be on hand, or it's programming on how much memory is allocated to saving for various different aspects of the gameplay, or it's a server thing. I really don't know, but I think to try to avoid game crashes like that, I'm going to just have to not grind out these segments like this, where I stay for, maybe do, just to be safe, maybe just run three times, move on, come back around, and let RNG take its effect. But you notice in my inventory that, you saw me load out, load back in. I didn't do anything else in between, but uh, anything that I did not save to my character previously, isn't there. Now, the things that I did not check in my inventory before the game crashed seem to have stayed in my inventory. Like, I picked this up, before, the game crashed, but did not get a chance to check it, and that still seemed to stay in my inventory. So maybe that's a helpful thing that they've been able to implement, like, to try to help people from losing gear. That, if you have not had a chance to go back into your inventory before the game crashed, if you picked up a piece of new gear, that piece of gear may still be in your inventory. That almost seems to be too good to be true. But anything else that I picked up, as you see, like I had two of these weapons, I had, um, I had something else that I had intended to save. I don't see in my inventory. Thought there was, yeah, there was another light machine gun that I didn't get a chance to save. It's gone. Like I said, because I highlighted over it, I checked the fact that I've already seen or recognized or registered the weapon. As you can see, I don't have yellow highlights anymore up in the upper right hand corner to say that I have gear to check. But apparently, the gear that I had not checked before the game crashed on me was still in my inventory when I logged back in. But that's nothing that I feel like I could rely on. But I'll take note to see if I continue to see that as the case. But again, you have to equip your gear, or you can definitely know that it's going to
I'm getting major
disappear on you.
deja vu in
So,
this place.
you
Reminds
know,
me of that mission in Damascus when we
um,
rescued those diplomats.
I had to save your
I'll,
ass from that
like I said, I'm just
machete-wielding
going to keep
mob.
my grind
More like the
on
time I
each
had to save your
section
sorry
short,
ass from that redneck mob storming DC.
because
Those
it's
missions
just,
felt like we were fighting for a
trying to
reason.
broadcast.
But this shithole, it's never been worth fighting for.
So what's it all about for you then?
Just trying to live another day. Boss, we're barely holding on.
It sounds like I chose a good day to wake up then.
Yeah, I wanted to let that dialogue finish while I'm trying to overtalk it. But yeah, it's just,
Jakob, I'm seeing a lot of dead people. They look like they've been sautéed.
Shit. Be careful.
Having game crashes while you're trying to broadcast is even worse than having game crashes when you're not, because it interrupts the broadcast. That to me, I've always hated when it comes to broadcasting through PlayStation. I don't know if that's the case with Xbox or your PC, but um, you know, trying to broadcast on PlayStation, if your application crashes on you, it just abruptly ends your broadcast. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I hate that. But yeah, to try to avoid that when I decide to broadcast my grind segments, I'm going to just keep
Jakob,
it short.
I've reached the solar tower. I'm going in.
What are you seeing in there?
Some kind of weird electrical sparks flying everywhere.
Means you're getting close. This altar, did I not mention?
Well, keep it short
He's a
rather in
goddamn
regard to
electro freak.
how long
You
I
mean he
stay
lights
in
up
each
light
particular
bulbs?
area.
More like flash frying everything for a mile. Look, I know you've always been able to handle yourself, but this son of a bitch is on a
Very
whole other
discouraging.
level.
As of recently, so am I.
But yeah, people have said that that's going to be the deal breaker if they don't get this shit straight as far as you're losing your inventory thing, and I can agree with that, man. I mean, because it's the demo, I'm willing to put up with it. You know what I mean? And because we're not really talking about something that you can't replace. But you get to the main game, and now you're dealing with main game inventory, and God forbid it's a legendary. Oh, dude, like forget about it. Like they better have a plan to fix and rectify that situation for players, because if they don't, they're gonna have it's gonna really kill the game. It's gonna kill it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be dealing with a failed situation here. If they don't rectify this inventory thing before the main game comes out. I mean, like, dialogue
And so,
not
Outrider,
being synced up, in your cutscenes, to me that pales by comparison to making sure your gear isn't
No, thank
lost
you
in your
yet.
inventory.
You
You know
still
what I'm
got a war
saying?
to win.
Not sure anyone's winning this
Hell,
goddamn
even,
war.
having a
But there's
game
something even more
crash
important you might
or
be able
something
to
like
do.
that is
Come see
tolerable
me
if
in my
you're still
bunker.
able to save your inventory, your gear and your inventory. Like, but regardless of whether or not like I said, this yellow thing means that you haven't checked your gear. Regardless of whether I've checked it or not checked it, that gear should still be in my inventory. And like, it's to what benefit is it going to do you if you constantly can't check your gear in your inventory because, well, if the game crashes, and let's say that is a function that they're able to do where, oh, okay, you haven't checked your gear. Like, see how this has a yellow marker over here? So I have not checked this piece of gear here or this piece of gear here. Then if the game crashed right now and I opened it back up, that gear would be there. But say these other pieces over here that I just checked and marked for dismantling, if the game crashed and I reopened, they would disappear. This other gear over here would still be there. But again, as nice as that may be, uh, how useful is it to you that you can't check your gear? I mean, it's better than not, but having some kind of way of avoiding losing your gear. But again, it's awful. It's just awkward. It's just awkward. So like I said, these things that I'm evaluating or checking, though it's I want to try to evaluate these pieces of gear and say save the better piece of gear or whatever. Unless I remember to equip it by the time I finish playing the game, it's likely to disappear. So um, luckily I'm not that attached to any of it one way or the other. I mean, I do want to save it, because I like the look of it and want to use it when the main game comes out. But like, I'm not putting that much stock into it. I mean, if it stays or if it goes, for the most part, because I don't have any legendaries, and it's really a cosmetic thing as to the reason why I have anything that you see in here. Um, Besides what I have equipped to my character. What I have equipped to my character is important to me because of, the attributes and mods that are there. But it's really about the shards that I'm even running things the way I'm running it to have as resources, for crafting later. But and I pray they don't have a bug where that gets deleted, or for some reason when you comes to the main game, none of this transfers or something like that. Or the mods that you can now collect it in your crafting system, for whatever reason, there's some kind of bug where they get deleted or they don't transfer. Like, the kind of issues they're having with the game right now, can make you very weary about the whole process that's happening right here. Um, it's what issues could you possibly run across when the main game comes out? I mean,
Shira, I'm looking at the
like I
epicenter
said,
of the
this doesn't
explosion.
breed a lot
This
of
is where the collapse
confidence
started.
about the point. So, we'll run this terraformer like 3 times and then just go on back and turn in the side mission for whatever reward, and hopefully, and just kind of progress that way. Just keep the flow going, because I mean, I just, the game crashing, um, the loss of inventory, like man, it's just so discouraging. It's so discouraging, and like I mean, I'm glad I didn't put out like a review or my first impressions type of thing when the game first came out, because man, it just, it would have been very idealistic as to reality of the situations that are now befalling us before even the main game comes out. And I mean, like I said, you can give them a certain grace to their circumstance because it is the demo and it's not the main game. But oh man, it's really got my confidence rocked. Really got my confidence rocked about what to expect when the main game comes out. It's weird how when you first do this mission, this sniper just does not want to come from this position over here. But at your subsequent runs, he moves into a different position. See, there's the sniper. See him running. See, he kept wanting to stop back there, but now see how he always keeps running. It's a very strange thing, but he'll always stop right here on your subsequent runs. With your first one through, he likes to stay back. It's weird how these snipers give you better quality of gear on the average when it comes to the drops versus the captain on this thing, man. Like I said, I don't know what's up with these drop rates. I don't know what's up with their loot pool for these characters, but to me it's a bit shady. I mean, it's a bit suspect. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, these games have these kind of whack-ass ways to try to keep you playing the game, rather than like, oh, well, you like the game, that's why you want to play the game. To me, they kind of have a hoe mentality. No offense to pimp hoe type situation. To want to kind of keep you in the game, like, you know what I'm saying, like, they're just not going to give you the what you want, because they're afraid that you're not going to continue to be there later. If I give you what you're here to find, then you're gonna leave. Whereas, to me, that's a whole mentality to something, because at least that's my experience growing up around certain situations. Certain individuals that voluntarily wanted to call themselves a hoe in one sense or another would say, I'm not going to give them what they want, because then when they get what they want, they're going to leave. And it's kind of like, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily take a hoe to have that mentality, but it's just my way of summing it up, put it that way. And I'm not trying to hoe shame. I'm just saying it might be the name, it might be the way, the name of the game. It might be the rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever the bag is, you know, not giving somebody what they want is a method that people use to try to keep people around. And to me, I think that's just kind of lame. Like, if you're worthwhile, if what you have is worthwhile, your product, your whatever, then having it would keep a person around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at least that's how it's worked for me. And even, when I've been interested in whatever product or person, whatever the circumstance is, if it's something that I want and I'm enjoying it, I like it, I'm gonna keep coming back. Not getting what I want will definitely have me say, forget you, or forget the scenario. Like, if I mean, the lottery win, the hope that I will get it one day if I just keep doing X, Y, Z doesn't thrill me. That does not impress me. I mean, I'm not saying that you should just give everything away, to whomever comes at your doorstep, or like with these games, like, just because you're playing the game, you're automatically going to get X, Y, Z. Sure, should be some measure of effort, some measure of quality to your endeavor to get X, Y, Z. Like, you're interested in a person, well, because you have a certain quality, because they like you, you're charming, whatever, you're a good person, whatever the thing is. Maybe you're a bad person, but you're good at being bad, whatever. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to give you X, Y, Z. And so in playing these games, you put forth a certain amount of effort. You have a certain quality to your gameplay, a certain proficiency at playing the game, whatever that level is. Okay, now you get XYZ for playing, but to stretch these circumstances out, whereas it's beyond the measure of your quality as a player, it's beyond the measure of your time invested. It's beyond the merit of your gameplay. But now it's completely some random scenario of a wish that something comes through. Like basically playing a lottery. Like, it seems like sometimes with these games, getting what you're there to get, you have better chance of being struck by lightning than you do, getting whatever they have to offer to you. That's right. I'm not gonna stay. So it's like I said, I mean, literally, like, I feel like if I had walked out during a rainstorm and stood out in a particular position to get struck by lightning, I'd probably have better chances of getting struck by lightning than getting a legendary drop in this demo, for example. I've played up, like, for example, Mass Effect was pretty scandalous with getting certain gear and what have you, because it was kind of a pay-to-play kind of scenario where you had to earn the money through the gameplay, or you had to buy the money for and buy these crates, which then gave you the improvement to your improvement cards to your character, or the improvement cards to your weapon. And let me tell you, oh, it was horrible, the odds that would befall various different people. Like, it was absolutely horrible. Some of the odds, for buying these particular, packages, or the loot crates, or whatever they were called. I can't recall at the moment, but I mean, it was this was for the multiplayer. I mean, the single player game was friendly as heck. The single player game, oh, was fantastic. You get to love and enjoy the power fantasy. Awesome, absolutely awesome. Hats off to it. But the multiplayer, when it came to advancing or leveling up your character, your weapon, oh, it was scandalous. When it came to just lechery on how much time you'd have to put into the game to gain the game currency in game, or how much money you'd have to put in the game if you wanted to buy. Oh my gosh, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. Um, but I don't, with this scenario here with Outriders, there's no pay to play, there's no microtransactions, thank God. But with it all being a self-contained scenario with no, um, live service to the game, it's its own package in and of itself. And then they have this co-op scenario. Well, how else are they going to continue to keep people in the game for other people to play with, other than potentially stretching out your chances of getting legendary gear? And sure, as you progress in your world tier, they're going to give you higher odds to get legendary gear, but we don't know what the odds are to start out with, that they're saying you have an increased chance of getting legendary gear. Because if you
They're saying the hounds got wiped out.
check out your
I want to see if
world
I can
tier
get my stuff back before
levels,
somebody grabs it.
Oh, damn, that's a good idea.
you know what I'm saying, all the way up to, say, world tier 15, if you're able to handle that and actually deal with whatever's going on to get the legendary drop. Number one, you don't know what you're looking for, maybe in particular areas versus other areas. Number two, you don't know how rare the legendary item may be that you're going after. Though you're getting a 300% bonus, you don't know what the drop chance is at its base rate for each legendary item. And then if there's a particular mod you're going for, what the rate of the drop will be for the epic or legendary item for that particular mod, for that particular weapon. I mean, certain legendary weapons I believe have guaranteed mods for them. But again, like, there's just so many variables to this drop rate situation. We don't know, and I doubt if they're going to be transparent as to, you know, uh, just what the odds are for you getting something at its base, and for what you could calculate it to potentially be, with the world tier modifier added to it. So, that to me could be the thing that would ruin it to be fun. You know what I mean? Um, or it just might be advisable, even for myself or others that would have bad luck, if you want to call it that, to not be in the game for the potential of legendary drops. You just don't play the game for the sake of hopefully getting some particular mod, anything particular about the game. That's not common. You know what I'm saying? If it's common, like some particular look of a weapon, or common in some particular look of gear, shoot for that. Keep your expectations low, because I got a feeling that, man, I got a feeling you're gonna be strung out the wrong way with this game, hoping you get some particular look of a weapon or some particular look of gear, or like, all 5 pieces to some particular legendary outfit. Like, man, like DCUO could keep you strung out sometimes with certain stuff, until they start moving on. They could have you strung out on certain items that people were trying to collect, but a lot of times they kind of did that to keep the economy going for their store, their trade that you could do inside the game. Warframe kind of does that too. Like, they have certain elements to try to promote the mechanics within the game, and so they make certain things rare so that those that are playing it and have said luck to get whatever are able to trade these things to other players. Until it becomes, until the next thing comes up that's the latest, greatest, and then that will be the thing that's, has the the economy shifted towards its direction. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. I've just experienced too many different scenarios with these games that they have me a bit jaded. Um, I mean, I find it fascinating how my luck is always set up a particular way with these games where, I mean, honestly, like my RNG is always bad when it comes to whatever fantastic thing that's supposed to be gotten. You know, um, every once in a blue moon, um, I may, come across something that's sweet and desirable. That's the hottest thing to have. Like I think one time playing DCUO, I got some kind of ring thing or something or whatever that was dropped in some mission that was the hoopla to have, and but it never happened to me again. No matter, I mean, the hours and I mean like hours and hours upon hours. Like I played that. I mean, like I put so much time in a lot of these games, grinding them out. Man, I put years into games within a couple of months. you know, um, and like I said, with this Outriders thing, um, I've definitely invested the time in this too, beyond belief, when it comes to grinding these side missions. Um, you know,
Come, see what wonders I have.
and like I said, they did. As far as I know of, there was no
Whose order?
discernment as far as whether which side mission may actually give you a legendary weapon
Hey,
from the
Shira.
reward.
I got
So
some
that's the
business in
reason why
Hell's
I add this one to
territory.
the list too.
What can you tell me about their leader, this guy Barker?
But,
He fights dirty, preys on the innocent. His men are loyal because they're terrified of him.
but
And you let this guy run things inside your walls?
but because I can't spend too much time at any one point grinding out a particular mission, um, I need to kind of keep rotating them. Now, what's interesting is with this payday mission, I've never had the game crash on me, and it might have something to do with constantly reloading back into the camp. Like, so if you're doing Terra Informa, you don't have to go back to the camp. If you're doing payday, you know what I mean? You're still outside the camp. If you're doing the Vanguard Captain, you're
The hound's
still
hideout.
outside the camp.
Barker
And
will be
and I
down here
think that
somewhere.
might be the main clincher to why the game might decide they want to lock up on me or crash um, versus other times. Other grinds like when I'm doing this mission here, a bad day, for example. It just I've never had a bad day grinding this mission back to back to back to back. Crash. But then again, like I said, I've got to fast travel back to the camp and speak to Eva in order to reset this mission. So again, I really feel like it's some kind of handshake with the server, some kind of memory thing, on-hand memory thing. Again, like I said, I'm not a programmer. Don't know. after this, we'll go ahead and reset it, do one more run through of each one of the spots where we can potentially get a legendary weapon, and I'm gonna let the cinematics play out, just to get a good idea of just how well they may have improved the synchronization of the dialogue with the cinematic. I mean, just didn't seem to do well prior to the update today. Like I said, we'll come back to this and check to see just how well they've improved that quality. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that the crash happened during the last broadcast, to really illustrate the issue that I'm talking about in this game with the game crashing and your inventory loss. Because it's real. I mean, the grind for gear is real. Because like I said, I ain't seen legendary shit none one for anything. Even when the vendors were giving epics during, when the game first came out, I saw one epic piece of gear. It wasn't a weapon, it was a piece of gloves. That was epic one time. And I didn't have enough money to buy it as far as the scrap, the in-game currency. And when I went back, it wasn't there. Like, there's something awkward with the refresh of gear and the vendors as well. Like, it'll give you a time limit as to when it's going to change, but the game does not respect that time limit about when the gear changes. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about once we go in here. So,
Good to see you
it
again.
doesn't matter which vendor
You'll
it
be
is.
pleased to know the hounds are still
Eva, the other guy.
Well,
Now, the for sale item seems to maintain its efficacy or its, so like this shotgun here with its mod, 24 minutes. You see these other weapons here, 24 minutes before it changes over. Now watch, I'm gonna back out of this. I'm gonna go over here to this vendor here, and I'm gonna show you what he has.
How the hell does the ECA expect traders to make do without government subsidies?
And so he's got this item here available with the Golem of Death, and these here things available here. So I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna go to my inventory real quick and check what I just got from Eva. See if she gave me a legendary of some sort, but she didn't. From a reward from that mission. I think she gave me a pair of gloves. Now watch when I go back over here to Eva again. Because it ain't been 24 minutes.
thanks again for getting the guy who killed poor Mr. Chang.
So see, the shotgun's here, but this inventory's changed. If I go back over here to the dude.
Ain't nothing free. Altered or not.
I think the mod is the same, but I want to say that the clothing item looks different. Anyway, like I said, I think they got something a little funky with the vendor here, and like some of these items look the same, but I feel like certain other items have changed. Like I said, we can keep going back and forth to these vendors, regardless of how.
Good to see you
at the
again.
time,
You'll be pleased to know the hounds are still.
And items will adjust in this regular offer before they're supposed to. And I don't know if why going into your inventory or backing out of this will change these things. I don't think it changed that time.
Ain't nothing free.
Did they fix this?
Altered or not.
Maybe they fixed it. I don't know. I'm a little tired too. Maybe they did fix this. It was a problem. I most sincerely tell you that this was a problem. But maybe in this last update that they fixed this issue, where the gear would change
How the hell does the ECA
before the time was up.
government subsidies?
Maybe they did fix this. I apologize.
Good to see you again. You'll be
may
pleased to know the hound still
misspoken on
scared
this
shitless.
issue. Then again, I don't think I am. That looks... What? Am I misremembering? That wasn't the thing that was there. Maybe they are still having this issue. Said I'm a little tired too, so I could be misremembering things.
What you see is what
I'll
you
recheck
get.
this footage too once we close the game down, but okay, that looks like it stayed the same.
Thanks again for getting the guy who killed poor
I think
Mr.
they
Chang.
fixed this issue. I think they fixed this issue. Which I really hope they did, because that was really frustrating. Like, you know, you'd see something that you like, you go to your inventory to say break down some other gear, compare what you have so that you could have enough currency to go back and get what you wanted to get out the vendor. And then you go back in the vendor and the gear would be different. But it looks like they fixed that problem, because notoriously, like, I could get this to refresh. Wait a minute, they didn't fix the problem, because I know there was a different gun in here. There's this particular type of assault rifle that I like was just in here a second ago for purchase. This weapon's still the same, I think. At least it looks the same. I didn't double check the mod. This one, of course, is still the same. But some of these weapons in here have changed.
Good to see you again.
So I think they still do have the issue.
Other vendors are complaining I'm undercutting them. Suckers.
I don't know to what extent, but just keep that in mind. These vendors may not always have what you may be looking for, or what you think that may still be there, just because there's a time limit associated. I think some of this gear in this inventory is changing. But again, I will double check the footage to see if that's the case.
Thanks again for getting the guy who killed poor Mr. Chang.
Like I said, we'll do one more run through of this stuff, and I'll show the cinematics so we can see how the dialogue may be on track or not. Yeah, just coordinating dinner plans with the wifey here. So yeah, like I said, this will be my last run. We'll go ahead and play through some of these cinematics here and see what's up with the dialogue.
You heard?
And see, I didn't queue up the terror. Oh, where's it? Wait a minute. Did I back up? Hold up. Ah, damn it. I don't think I saved.
What are you standing there for? Keep moving. Only
I
the
don't think
dead
I
get the
backed
day
up
off.
to the right spot. I don't think I changed my spot. Hold on. Damn it. Talking to the wife, sorry. Let me at least set up this terror informer before we back out.
You've been got the reports of...
So we'll accept the quest.
I want to hear the moment our search parties turn up
Now
anything
we'll return
about
to
McCain.
lobby so that it's there when we go out in the field, basically, is the reason why I'm doing this. And that way, when we come back, we don't have to keep coming back and forth to the camp. Although it might be good to come back and forth to the camp to save information, maybe. I don't know, man. This is such a weird thing with this. But I'm not sure just how much stock to put into this grind. But so far, because of the game crashes and the inventory losses, like I said, though seems to be an unlimited amount of what we can stock up on the shards, and it seems like we can add to our mod library. Again, it's no guarantee that all that's going to successfully transfer when the main game comes out. B, we don't know if there's going to be some hiccup along the way where all of a sudden, boom, we lose all that too. I mean, like I said, having these kind of issues really rocks my confidence about what to expect from this game. I know that eventually they're going to get things together. I have a feeling that they are. They seem to be rather earnest and sincere with their efforts to improve the game and any hiccups they have. And I mean, for crying out loud, it's not a live service game, so what else would they have to do? I mean, sure, working on the next game or iteration, or perhaps they might decide to do a DLC, who knows, or add something else later. Sure, they could be working on that, but sincerely, if it's not a live service game, they don't have, there's certain things that go along with a live service game that requires a constant aspect of attention. This isn't that. So you would think that they would have the man hours or ability to dedicate to getting this game correct. Hopefully. We shall see. We shall see. Oh shoot, I was gonna play out the cinematic. Whatever. We'll play out the other ones.
Outrider, be careful out there.
Too much
It's bad.
a rush.
I'll see what I can do. Shira, I still got about 30
Besides,
years
these
of questions to catch
cinematics
up on.
take a good long while.
So if you make it back in one piece, come and ask me. But I don't promise I'll have all the answers.
We'll play out this cinematic here. We'll only go through this one once. Just time
Come,
around.
see what wonders I have for sale.
Another time, mister. I'm having one shitty day.
Bitter wind blows for us all. Come, how about a little hot tea?
Not much of an inventory.
Don't mind all this crap on it one. I keep all the good stuff.
Should have paid, old man!
You're altered. I didn't know.
Think I care? He was about to show me the good stuff.
Just acting on orders.
Whose orders?
Barker, he runs the Hounds gang. He's trying to take out all the vendors in Rift Town. It won't work for him.
Worst fuck Inday.
But yeah, it looks like they got the dialogue in sync. The gunfire was in sync. You know, his perverted little line about him showing them the good stuff.
Hey,
I mean,
Shira. I got some business in Hound's territory.
of course, it's a
What
little
can you
cheap
tell me
that
about their
the
leader,
dude had a
this guy
mask on, you couldn't
Barker?
see the other guy's face
He
moving.
fights
But
dirty.
I think the
Preys on
rest of the
innocent.
cinematics are
They're
probably
saying
be
His
in
men are
line too
loyal
with the
because they're
improvements.
terrified of them.
Would you let this guy run things inside your walls?
He's too well fortified at the bottom of the river.
But again, like having some dialogue or, you know, off sync or sound basically out of sync with the video pales by comparison of having inventory being lost in game crashes. You know, like I could have out of sync dialogue with cutscenes forever. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with your inventory loss, items missing, game crashes. That's ugh. And I'll be honest with you, I could deal with game crashes if my inventory's still there.
Barker will be down
You
here
know, I mean,
somewhere.
it's nothing good. It's nothing positive at all. But at the same time, like, you know, you can cope with that. You can't cope with you know, losing out on your inventory. You know, especially when it took you a certain amount of time to gain all those things. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? That's just intolerable. You know, that's just nothing that anybody wants to put up with. I mean, you know how they say time is money, money is time. I mean, you know, the amount of time we put to these circumstances, you know, this is, you know, these are days, hours, months, you know, I mean, and then all of a sudden you lose some shit. I mean, you know, dude, you know, it's bad enough that, you know, you're not, you know, well, I guess broadcasters are getting paid for their time. I mean, I'm broadcasting, but I'm not getting paid for my time. I'm not being monetized by this circumstance. I'm preserving my gameplay. I'm sharing what I have with others who might come across it. That's about the most benefit that I have out of doing any of this, besides trying to have some level of enjoyment. But again, like, losing my gear, losing my equipment, like this, that's just intolerable. Like I said, you can't interact with crates when the reflectability is active. So yeah, we'll play out this cinematic, see how well they got the dialogue synced up.
Fuck off! You can't take her back! Who, the girl? This isn't a rescue, you Barker. Do I know you? Mr. Chang sends his regard. Oh, come on! It's right in the middle of my line.
You were taking too long.
Planning it all the way here.
Thanks for the rescue anyway.
Again, really wasn't here for you.
Did you say Mr. Chang is healed, right?
Mm-mm.
Fuckers! Like, it's not bad enough having insurgents trying to drag us all to hell. We gotta have these low-life gangsters on our streets picking us off from the inside.
Yeah, I know the game. Really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Hey, you did a good thing. Got a bad guy off the street, and I'm walking home without a scratch. I'm Eva, by the way. Got a stall near Chang's place. You should come see me there sometime.
Yeah, so they got the dialogue right with the Barker scene and him going through how much he wasn't there to rescue her ass. Like he wasn't interested in a female or something. I don't know. It's just odd the way they put that in. Yeah. Like, I'm not impressed with rescuing nobody. Anyway, but yeah, Barker was a freak. I mean, look at all the chains hanging from the bed thing, You know what I'm saying? He got a swing up in his thing. He was a super freak, bro. You know what I'm saying? He Mr. Rapist, man. He got a pole with a thing to string up people from. I mean, Barker was into some freaky, nasty stuff, man. I mean, that's all I gotta say. I mean, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? He got no guillotine, but a thing to put somebody's head in on the other side of the bed. Like, what kind of freak was Barker, man? I'm just saying. You just need to pay attention. Yeah, pay attention. Do not. Barker needed to go. I'm just saying. I don't even know. If that's your thing, good for you, happy for you. But yeah, Barker was a freak. There's something else he had. Oh yeah, here go a horse. Like what? You know what I'm saying? What was Barker into? There's a file on Barker too. Wait a minute. Let me see something real quick. There's a file that you can pick up in your journal on Barker's freaky ass. See, there's Barker right there. Leader of the gang. Sees control. General population. Deep inside the bottom level of slums. See, they don't go into how freaky Barker was. But I'm going to tell you right now. You pay attention to this imagery in here. Barker was a super freak. But yeah, you pick up his little file over here when it comes available. I'm not sure if it's always there when you first come through. Like sometimes I think like the payday mission, for example, there's a little file that you can get, a journal that you can pick up, but it doesn't show up the first time you run through the side mission. But yeah, Barker, super freak. A lot of people be talking about this game, but they don't be paying attention to some of the subtle details. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Barker's a super freak. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Rapist, man. You know what I'm saying? He was about to get medieval with Eva up in there, man. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the devs said that they incorporated an aspect of dark humor to some of the dialogue and to the imagery, and I think a lot of people are just overlooking certain things. Like I said, just pay attention to some of the background to what's going on with Barker, the fact that he's a super freak, the fact that there's dead bodies almost littered and piled up in the environment in such a way where you almost think that that's cover or some mound or some hill, and then you pay attention, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm running over dead bodies. I mean, that's how prolific the death and destruction was going on in these particular areas. I know that's not always going to be the case with the different environments.
Thanks again for getting the guy who killed poor Mr. Chang.
Let's see if the dialogue's on point with Eva. Little cutie. So shoddy.
Well, I was hoping I'd see you around these parts again.
Well, you just made a lousy day 2.5% better.
Yeah, but you weren't there for her.
Besides, with Mr. Chang gone, I still need a vendor.
Well, anything you see, happy to give you a better discount.
Anything I see? Really? I'm seeing you right now. Alright, so like I said, so the inventory is about to change over. I know this weapon and this is the same. I remember these two things being there, but I feel like some of this other stuff may be adjusted. Like I said, I'm gonna compare the footage later. But let's just see what Eva gave us.
Good to see you again. still scared shitless to come around here.
I think she gave us this headpiece here. Yeah, you always get a rare out of these side missions at least. So you know, I'm pretty confident that's what I got out of that.
Good to see you again. You'll be pleased to know the hound.
So we'll go ahead and continue. We do the. We'll work our way to payday. We'll come out and do a payday. We'll go ahead, do Terra Infirma, and then progress up to the tower, and then progress, you know, and it's like I said, so like I said, do payday, come back out of payday, do Terra Infirma, then we'll go back to the saves point, the fast travel point in the middle of between Terra Infirma and payday, and then we'll work our way up to the solar tower, defeat Gauss, and then come back to the camp at that point in time, turn in Terra Infirma, go through the dialogue of Gauss, and or at least rather it's really the end dialogue for the transition from the demo to the main game, you know, or at least the next mission. And you know, we'll go ahead and talk to Jacob and close out this grind segment here with that conversation. And I don't know, like I said, I may do another grind segment recording, maybe with one of the other characters, other class characters. I'm not sure. I'm gonna decide on that later, so I'm not gonna guarantee anything because, like I said, I'm just not sure just how worth it is, especially with somebody like myself not getting any kind of luck with the RNG at this world tier. You know, maybe, you know, and I pray that they do not screw the pooch when it comes to you know, the drop chance on these higher world tiers.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying, if I'm able to work my way up to a higher world tier, you know, do not, you know what I'm saying, I'm expecting to see legendaries, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not expecting to see the same legendary all the damn time, you know what I mean, like, you know, but, you know, they got a way, man. A lot of these games got a real way of baiting you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to, you know, they bait and switch you. You know, they're going to bring you in with a particular thing, but then they'll switch up on you. And then now, all of a sudden, now you ain't got X, Y, Z. Or it's hard to get. You know, they get you in, you know, they lure you in with the sweets and the honey. But then when it comes to really putting out,
this is
you
where
know what
the
I'm saying, they ain't
started.
gonna be putting out.
I doubt we can
They don't
survive
keep you
this.
around.
I don't need
You
your
know, wait till
help.
you get married.
I need him
You
alive.
married yet? Nah, I might give you what you looking for. You know what I'm saying? You take me out to dinner first.
I know of.
You buy me
In fact,
a
you're
car.
nothing like any outrider
I don't know,
I've
man.
either.
This, you know, these games, man, they're lecherous.
You're too late.
Let's just see how well the dialogue's in line with this. You know?
What happened here?
What does it fucking look like? We got mutilated. We had the bastards cornered, but they had a captain.
Well, not point. I mean, it's not a lot of point in watching this dialogue because
Captain.
Yeah, you know, the fuckers with powers.
she's got a mask on. Like, you can check
What's
his
he look
dialogue,
like, this captain?
but it's
Scar
rather
on his
limited.
face.
But yeah, she got a mask on, so you can't see shit.
I think I know the guy.
But yeah, he's in sync.
Where is he?
Inside the. I wish.
I think I'll pay him a little visit. For old time's sake.
Altered! Give that captain what. Bring me that bastard's head! I want to see him butch.
Yeah, she a freak too. But so she won his head. That's what she said. So yeah, Mr. Captain is the dude that in the
Time I
beginning.
settle up with this captain. Hope he hasn't forgotten.
throws you out in that nasty ass battlefield half naked.
I remember
And,
that voice.
you know, but what's interesting is if you really pay attention to when Homeboy throws you, oh really? You know, comes across you. He gives you this look in the beginning of the game like he's actually hoping you survive for some odd reason. Because he doesn't kill you. He doesn't tell his dudes to kill you. Instead, he throws you out into this wasteland, you know, and as if to say, survive. If you survive this, come back and find me. I might have a place with you with one of my boys. And at the end of this here, when you go, you know, to give payback or whatever, or confront him because of his butchery of you know, the girls' soldiers, and of course throwing you out.
Harder time getting back through. Captain should be holed up somewhere in here.
He tries to sort of plead for his life, which you'll see in this cutscene, in a way like, dude, like, I know I'm fucked up, but what's really fucked up is the rest of the folks. You don't know what they did to us, and he just like, well, yeah, I don't know what they did to y'all, but I know what you did to me. And so I don't know, it's just an interesting dynamic. So yeah, Captain Raynor is his name. So like I said, in the beginning, Raynor act like he's not necessarily looking for you to die. He's trying to put you to the test. He give you this like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro type line, like, give me all you got. I think that was Robert De Niro in Heat. When he came with, you know what I'm saying, he was like, give me all you got. Give me all you got. But yeah, so we'll check Captain Raynor's dialogue sync. And I'm gonna tell you, he's trying to let him know something about Shira's bunch. And that they ain't all as cool as they cracked up to be.
Wait. Stop. You're an altered. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Why the fuck are you fighting for those fascist assholes? We're the ones fighting for our lives. Do you even know what they did to us?
I know what you did to me.
So yeah, so the dialogue seems to be in sync for these cutscenes, which is refreshing. But again,
Outriders always pay what's owed. That soldier will want to see it.
Losing stuff from your inventory, it's inexcusable. Game crashes, you could cope with that if you still kept your stuff in your inventory, but still is not comfortable to have game crashes either. But yeah, like I said, Raynor was trying to tell him something about this crew here, man. They ain't
Alter,
you know.
Give that captain what's coming to him.
You know what I'm saying? They don't always seem like they as cracked up and cool as you might think that they are. I mean, number one, she got
He paid.
a hell of a request for retribution.
You're gonna be okay. You need a medic or something.
You nuts? A medic round here will kill me faster than the shrapnel will.
Damn, that's
Don't worry
nasty.
about me. I'll live to fight another day. Hey! You did a good thing.
And see, that's the second time you hear that. It's interesting how they talk about him going around killing folks as a good thing. Eva said the same thing to him at the end, and Audrey Storm just said that to him. You did a good thing at the end. But like I said, Shira and this group that, you know what I'm saying, seem to be the good guys, man, I don't know. They seem a bit shady to me. Shira seemed like she just heartless as a mofo. Like she don't, you know, like she just straight using them for whatever purpose she has to use them for. You know what I'm saying? Yakub holler about, oh my boy, like I tried to look for you type shit. It's like, nigga, you know where he was. Like, I mean, I'm saying, I'm sorry about the N word, but I'm a black man. But either way, point is that Yakub, comes to uh, your Outrider dude, and he's like, yo, I tried to look for you. I was, it mattered to me that you disappearing, but Shira knew where he was the whole time. She was the one that put him in the cryo. So for him to not know where she was working with her is shady. That's just something they're not telling him. And the fact that they just now figured out how well, let's just wake him up type thing, or because we don't really understand the full dynamics to why he had been woken up. Hopefully I'm sure that's something that I would think that they're not going to overlook in the main campaign. In the beginning of the game, you see the doctor dude and the woman who you find out is a sniper were there for something else, and that him being woke up from his cryo chamber was sort of a byproduct of something else that they were doing there. Or like I said, they were sent there to do whatever, knowing that his cryo chamber would be interrupted, and they like I said, we're just gonna take everybody out. Somebody didn't decide to tell him that that's what was going to happen. If they're there for whatever and they interrupt whatever, that the crowd chamber is going to open up. Like I said, that's aspects of lore. I'm sure I like to hope that they'll not leave that stone unturned and hopefully answer those questions for us when we play the main game. But I believe it's more than meets the eye, definitely with Shira's situation and Yakub as well. I just don't know to what degree. But they both seem a bit shady. Everything was out of sync. Pretty good on this scene here too.
Why did it just get so quiet?
But yeah, it's looking good though. Like I said, I'll be impressed when we stop losing gear out of our inventory, and then that's my number one to impress me.
Hey Shira,
and
what
then
am I
you can
looking
impress
at?
me secondly by
Some kind of walking
getting rid
giant
of these
out here.
game crashes and some of this horrible ass lag that they have when you do co-op. I mean, like it just gets real glitchy. Trying to go into cover, come out of cover, certain abilities that teleport you around. Like the Devastator gravity thing and the teleporting thing with the Trickster. Like you get some weird frame rate drops, some weird lag.
Hold on, I got you.
It's bad. I don't know what they have going on with their peer-to-peer.
We're all in this together right now.
The fact that you're only dealing with 2 to 3 people and you have those kind of issues, it's worrisome about what kind of program they got going on for this.
Right. I'm alive. Thank you, soldier.
It's okay. Now, let's get the rest of my men out.
Yeah, things seem to be in sync.
Fuck, seriously?
War is war. What, you think we just hug it?
Okay.
Why do I even bother?
So yeah, see, we'll fast travel back, take us up to Gauss. Then we head on back, close it on out. But yeah, to me, I appreciate the subtleties to some of the dialogue and the offbeat, morbid humor that is sort of in the game. It's I mean, even when it comes to some of the blood and gore that's going on, it's just outrageous. Like in this reality, human beings just burst open like water, like a water balloon. Or Gallagher, which was a old comedian from back in the day, used to take mallets and smash watermelons all over all the audience. I'm not sure what the appeal to that was, but either way, though, like in this game, no matter how far no matter how far away you are from the enemy, and you give them a headshot, it always makes this bursting sound, as if you're right up next to it. So that's morbidly funny. But yeah, they have these elements of sort of desensitizing you to the death and destruction that's going on. Like I said, like dead bodies just everywhere. At least in this environment here. And when you get further up, it's even worse. So like I said, this is another way too to grind out this game where, for legendary stuff, instead of staying in one spot, and sure, time wise, as far as how many times you could potentially get a chance for a legendary drop per second per minute would be better to just say rerun something like this mission, this segment right here. If you're on PlayStation, I don't know about the rest of the system, but the potential to get a game crash is a little too high for my taste. So like I said, I'm a really debate as far as how to proceed on this grind, or even to be even bother about it. I think what I definitely will probably do is just make sure each one of my characters at least has the maximum aspect of immediate resources. Yeah. The juicy headshot. That's what she said. But yeah, or he said, they said, whatever.
Reminds me of that mission in Damascus when we rescued those diplomats.
I had to save your ass from that machete-wielding mob.
More like the time I had to save your sorry ass from that redneck mob storming D.C.
Those missions felt like we were fighting for a reason. But this shithole, it's never been worth fighting for.
So what's it all about for you then?
Just trying to live another day. Boss, we're barely holding on.
It sounds like I chose a good day to wake up then.
Yeah, you're running over bodies like it's grass in this particular area of the game. We're going to take each one of these enemies, as they come along, because I really do not want to have to deal with the game crashing again on me. Now, I doubt if that's going to be the case because I didn't spend forever grinding that previous segment. With the Vanguard captain. But, we'll just take it by the numbers because, having all those enemies come together, though, you would expect that should not be a problem with programming of the game for it to crash on you. It definitely was.
Yakum, I'm seeing a lot of dead people. They look like they've been sautéed.
Shit. Be careful.
But yeah, Yakub's about to say something else again that's a little suspect. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be hollering about, watch. He'll be like, well, oh, what did I forget to mention? That this guy wasn't altered? Like, come on, bro. That's like some exceptionally pertinent information. I mean, if you're anywhere close to military ready or training, which these Outriders apparently are, like, bro, that's necessary intel. You mean tell me you forgot to mention?
Yakub, I've reached the solar tower. I'm going in.
What are you seeing in there?
Some kind of weird electrical sparks flying everywhere.
Means you're getting close. This altar, did I not mention? He's a goddamn electro freak.
You mean he lights up light bulbs?
More like flash frying everything for a mile. Look, I know you've always been able to handle yourself, but this son of a bitch is on a whole other level.
As of recently, so am I.
But yeah, so you see what I'm saying, Yakuba? Oh, did I forget to mention? Trip.
And so, Outrider, you've had your first kill. We Alter do not die so easily, do we?
Seth.
Come.
I swear my character looked like...
We must speak.
Yeah, what's his name again? Damn. It's on the tip of my tongue. Wayne Brady. That's who he looked like. Just with a goatee and dreads.
They asked you to help them. To fight the Altered in there. Why didn't you?
That pathetic monstrosity was a distraction.
People are dying because of him. Without the supply route open.
They all die. These feeble creatures. Slaughtering each other over scraps. You waste your gifts. Running errands for them. Trying to win their meaningless, endless war. You must realize, you're not like them anymore.
So what? I should play at being a god like you?
I am not playing. But you are something even more. Altered and Outrider. The last Outrider. Do what
Even
you
though
were
his
sent
lips
here
aren't moving,
for.
I
Go.
think he's
Beyond the
telepathically
frontier.
communicating this to
These
him.
people need their gods. Only one like you could lead them to a future.
Why not you?
They call him Moloch. I fight another war, far above this petty squalor. My war is with the worst of our kind. This one is too powerful. He will destroy us all, unless I hunt him down. But this is not your fight. You are to be the shepherd. Find a way for them out of this slaughter, Outrider.
mean, to me, there's some subtle nods though to certain other games, like especially Mass Effect. Like you want to call him Shepard. Well, you know, first Mass Effect, his name, the main character was named Shepard. You know, in this you hear one of the background people at the camp talk about how Captain Ryder's dead. Well, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda, the main character is named Ryder. I don't know. It just
Sure,
might be
it's
me
done.
reading too much
Your
into it.
supply line's open. I'm heading home.
But I appreciate the fact that the dialogue's in sync with the video. That is refreshing, but I'm not impressed. Like I said,
I can't believe it.
impress me
What you just
when I'm
did.
not losing
I've lost
my
100
inventory.
men trying.
Impress me
Don't thank me yet.
when I'm not getting game
You still got a
crashes.
war to
Impress me
Not sure
when I'm
anyone's
able to
winning
play
this
co-op
war, but there's something
and
even
not
more
feel
important
like
you
I'm
might
in
be
some
able to
kind of
do. Come see me in my bunker.
weird soup where, you know, you just, or a swamp where you just murking through the gameplay. You know, like I said, it's a lot to appreciate, but it really gets shot to heck and gone when, you know, you have these kind of issues. So yeah, we take it back to the bunker, turn in the Terran Reformer, see what we get, and close out the dialogue with talking to Yakub to see how well that looks. It's probably going to be just fine. And I'll let the end of the cinematic play out and close out this grind segment that way. This is, like I said, this is part 2 of part 1. And, you know, we'll debate on whether or not we do another broadcast on grind, because, you know, I might just need to give myself a little bit of a R&R from this here, because, like I said, it's kind of left a bad taste in my mouth dealing with all the game crashes and the inventory losses. And I'm not fully sure you know, how reliable this is going to be when it comes to transferring to the main game. You know, we could wind up losing all our mods. We could wind up losing all of the resources that we've accumulated, like the shards, for example. That's almost more important than the 25,000 scrap, 1,000 leather, piece of leather, 1,000 iron, and 10 titanium. I mean, I feel like you could probably get that, replace that rather easily and quickly. But all the mods and stuff like that you've accumulated, I'm sure you probably could replace that over time without too much of a problem, because they're all just level 1s. But again, it kind of defeats the point of having somewhat of a head start to all this. And, you know, again, it's like, just how much is it really going to pay off for you to have to constantly, you know, modify your gear as you're constantly leveling through the game? I don't know. I really don't know.
Believe you. They do, Peck.
Jacob. Sure.
The signal in the forest. You remember it?
Yeah, like it was yesterday.
You still have its frequency, don't you?
You mean this frequency?
Curve. You got the winning lotto
Yeah, the dialogue's looking on point. Now, one thing that is another strange thing about this is how big everybody's hands are. I mean, that to me seems like a very odd, disproportionate thing, and then maybe it's the artistic level of things, you know. So, you know, certain things are drawn, certain things are animated in a certain way to have a certain artistic style. But to me, it's a bit awkward as to how large everybody's hands are.
One of our last scientists.
Bullshit. He's been deep in enemy territory.
Hey, look
for
at the
weeks.
size of Yakub's mitts.
5 Ration says Zahidi's dead.
We don't know that.
You.
And I think it has something to do with the proportion of the weapons. Like, the weapons tend to be a little oversized in certain ways.
Real funny that way.
Like, look at the size of her hands.
Meet Jane, sniper, first class. She almost died trying to save his life.
Now, maybe people into that, you know what I'm saying? Big hands don't fail me now type of thing. But
signal was already,
and I don't think it's a perspective thing, you know, as far as how the camera angle set up or whatever. Like, they just got some big ass hands. But constructively, I'm wondering if it's a thing of artistic style.
It's the only chance we've got.
I don't know.
And if anyone can get there alive, it's all of you.
Shira, come on.
Jacob! That's an order.
Sorry I left you to die in that med lab.
Hey, no worries.
Didn't really have a choice.
I'd have done the same.
Damn, everybody just equally fucked up.
I want to hear the moment our search parties turn up anything about McCain.
But even though I was talking over that, the dialogue seems to be in sync with the cutscene.
I'm pretty busy right now. What do you need?
Now see, here's another glitch. See how her cape thing is inside of her body? Like,
how did it all...
When do you know?
I can guess which side you were on.
Sometimes if you click through the cutscene, you know, the dialogue, it'll cause the shirt thing to come back out of her body. Like, I think it flapped out of her body this time.
Understand.
Let me see.
What do you want to know?
Yeah, see, now it's out of her body because I clicked through the dialogue.
There are lesser
but yeah, it's so weird how
small and strange mutations.
The cape will flap into her.
Only a handful. Still more than I'm comfortable with. But the soldiers revere them as gods.
But yeah, the dialogue seems to be in play, so we'll just go ahead and close it out here.
Your lieutenant's dead.
You know,
Tell me he died like a hero.
Sure,
keep moving forward.
You want to hear? He was a real fucking hero.
Whatever he did, know that this is war, Outrider. All must be forgiven until we win.
See, it's that kind of
worth winning anymore.
You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of dialogue coming from her to make you really wonder what's up with her. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the means justify the ends. And that's not you can't run stuff like that, bro. You can't run it like that. You know what I'm saying? With the means justifying the ends, you know, all can be forgiven, you know, until we win. You know, that's you know what I'm saying? All kinds of scandalous, unscrupulous shit will go down with that kind of mentality. So I do not foresee the future playing out with this chick. I mean, she on some more other shit, in my opinion. His punk ass Yaku, and his dialogue is shady too.
No, it's better than dodging.
Like, listen to his explanations.
What happened to everyone else? None of the other Outriders survived?
Well, you had front row seats for the shit show that started it all. You know, most of us were dead that first day. The few dozen that were left, they did what we came here to do. They fucking explored. Who do you think died trying to figure out we couldn't leave this fucking valley?
Yeah, all in all, he just sound like he definitely mad jaded.
Why are you the only Outrider alive?
You think I was gonna explore this damn planet after what we saw? Fuck them. Let them have my badge. I didn't need to be an Outrider that bad anyway.
Yeah, man, you know, he just on the other side of being a has-been. Yeah, but thank you for viewing. Close it out. See you all on the other side.
As the last remnants of humanity destroy themselves, the signal is still out there. And with it lies the key to our salvation. We journey from the ruins of our old world and into what lies beyond.
The things I've seen, even I do not believe them.
Where I am taking these two, there's no coming back.
You think you're dreaming?
What the?
This is real.
Get on!
Do what you were sent here for! Go! Beyond the frontier!
It's the end of the goddamn world out there.
All this persistence, this world is crashing down. And what will be left?
Beyond here, there's only death.
I'm finding that signal.
Oh, damn. That reminds me. I did not check my inventory to see what I got from the McCain, the Terra Informa. We'll see if it surprised me with a legendary. But one comment though on his ending, like, teaser for the rest of the game. I love how that dude's like, the things I've seen, even I do not believe them. Just the way he was sitting in that environment and came up that line reminded me of some Marlon Brando Apocalypse Now type shit, man. But I don't know. I appreciate some of the subtleties that they bring to the game. The look of the environment, this sort of sci-fi horror that they kind of blend into all this. You get a little bit of, it's like I almost smell a little taste of Clive Barker, little Hellraisers, in the mix of some of the imagery, costume design, character design. But like I said, I've got high hopes for the situation. I just hope my heart doesn't get broken too much when they start, because they gonna change something, man. Hopefully they don't nerf it too bad. Hopefully they continue to allow us to live out the power fantasy. Hopefully they don't string us out too much on legendary drops. I mean, I feel like they already are doing so, because I think by now everybody should at least have one legendary drop. If they putting some time into this, 6-7 hours, grinding at it, you should at least be seeing one. 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 hours and not seeing one legendary drop, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I mean, and I fall into that category, and I know many people fall in that same category, which is, to me, strange. I mean, I would have rather that they not include legendaries if it's going to be that difficult to get a legendary. Like, I'm not looking to get every one of them, but something to make your time and your effort worth the gamble. I mean, it's, it becomes extremely discouraging. So yeah, out of my inventory, as you can see, I got no legendaries, and there's no gear that's legendary during the demo. So yeah, I did not get the legendary reward for that Terra Informa. So anyway, I'll clear out my inventory after I end this broadcast. But thank you again for everybody tuning in, and I'll see you all next time for sure. This is definitely goodbye until then, or until I see you later.
What about your daughter? Can she help you?
They took her too.